And speaking of retarded, next up we're going to be talking about Tanner's pick.
Woo!
You guys suck.
That's right, guys. We watched World War Z, starring our very own Brad Pitt.
Ooh.
This movie opens, we got Brad Pitt. He's a family man with a family. And he loves his family because he's a family man. They go into the city, and then, oh my gosh, everything is flipping the fuck out, and there's zombies. Not good. And then they're running away, and then they get on a helicopter, and they go to a boat. They're like, listen, Jerry, that's Brad Pitt's character's name.
Hey, Jerry.
We're gonna throw your family into the ocean unless you go figure out how this zombie nonsense happened. He's like, fuck, I guess I'll do it, because apparently this is something that's under the purview of the United Nations. So he flies to fucking South Korea with a scientist, and he's like, we're gonna figure out how this zombie shenanigans started. And then the scientist shoots himself, and they fly to Israel. So they land in Israel, and he finds a guy, and the guy is like, yeah, the zombies, we knew it was happening. And then the zombies take over Israel because the Palestinians and the Israelis were finally getting along, and so Jerusalem is fucking destroyed because of that. And then he gets on a plane, and he's like, well, we're gonna go to this fucking research facility because I put something together that maybe fucking cancer will save us. And then he blows up the plane, but he survives. And they land in the fucking WHO, and then now the movie is really slow. It was very fast before, now it's very slow. And they're running around this medical facility for a while, and then he gives himself like fucking typhoid fever or some shit. And the zombies no longer look at him, and he drinks a Pepsi, and the movie ends. The end.
Alright, so important question right off the bat here. Tanicha, are you pro-Israel or Palestine?
Dude, shout out America.
Yeah!
I like this guy.
Here we go.
Whoever's left. How about that? Whoever's left. How about let's go America.
Only the strong
we'll take
survives.
The winner. We'll take the winner.
I like that one. That's a good answer.
So this movie, guys, World War Z, this movie's pretty quick now, ain't it? They really get off to the races immediately. They don't fucking they don't tease you. They don't like tickle the gooch at all. They're just like, hey, you like zombies?
They kind of do, because that title sequence is really fucking long.
It is very long, and they just go over world news. They do pepper in some of, like, the World War Z events into the just casual news broadcasts. But they're like, oh, other than that, here's the weather, and, you know, stuff like that. Random question that probably doesn't mean anything, but I feel like I should ask it anyway. How do you guys feel about the fact that they're designating this zombie disease as rabies?
I mean, I'm fine with it.
It seems pretty normal to me.
Yeah, it's a pretty typical zombie movie thing. We're like, okay, well, these can't like actually be the living dead, right? we can't make this like some weird magic thing. It has to be like we have to justify it somehow in our real world, you know?
Yeah, it has to make sense.
Exactly. Now, one weird thing for me personally, you know, is like, it's really hard to watch movies with like really big actors like Brad Pitt in it. Because, like, I'm not really seeing, like, a guy here. I'm just seeing Brad Pitt.
I don't know what that statement's supposed to
like,
be.
Like, this isn't a character. They're like, hey, this is Brad Pitt, and he's fighting zombies now.
It sure is.
I mean, I guess. I don't think I can relate.
One thing I did at the very least appreciate with him is that they really made him, as Tanner said, they make him a real family guy, you know? Where we do get, like, at least a few shots where he's, like, really trying to, like, take care of his family. Where he's like, hey, little girl, you doing okay? We gotta make, you're okay, right? Okay, I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry. I'm here for you. I'm Brad Pitt. Where we have...
I'm Brad Pitt, and I'm your father.
I'm your father. Yeah.
Another weird, like, little thing, I felt like his wife was being way too casual about everything going on. Like, I would have expected this from him, because he seems like some kind of special ops government guy who's dealt with some serious stuff where he needs to keep a level head. His wife seems to be on that same level, but I don't think she should be. Like, I don't know, like, did you guys feel that way at all about the
she's
beginning?
A military wife, okay? She's just as capable as her husband.
That's the rule.
Some Mr. and Mrs. Smith bullshit. Yeah,
That's
I will.
a good movie.
Because
It is a good movie.
Brad Pitt is also in that one. Get it, guys?
Is it? Oh, I forgot. Anyway,
What the
it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
You made a Mr. and Mrs. Smith reference for no fucking reason?
Well, I mean, I made it, but I was talking. It's not important. Anyway, I will say there is a single actor in this show that I am sure that none of you guys know as much as I do, who died in the dumbest way in movie history. I don't remember
guy
the
who
gun
shot
going.
himself?
Yeah,
That was the author of the book.
Author of the book. What are you talking about?
He doesn't know it's
The
based
author
on
of
a
the
book.
World War Z.
Oh.
Fucking retard.
Wow. Yeah, no, I definitely don't remember the gun going off. It definitely makes his death a lot less stupid, but I still think it's super stupid
really
because I
fucking
remember.
stupid.
Well, hold on. It only makes it less stupid compared to the version you thought happened, which didn't actually happen.
Yeah, because in my version, from what I thought I remembered, he just fell and cracked his head
That's
on
still really
the ramp
stupid.
going in. Yeah, I know, and that's why I was like, man, they made this guy super important. He died within 5 minutes of maybe 10 minutes of being on the screen. And I was like, wow, they really just didn't want this movie to have a convenient plot loop, did they? At all.
Well, you see, a big problem with this movie is it actually kind of went through development hell. There were substantial rewrites shortly before the film came out, where, Brad Pitt, he used to really see super eye-to-eye with the director and shit like that, so...
Gotcha.
They didn't talk.
Yeah. Which I feel like is something that's really felt throughout the pacing of this film, especially with just how we fucking transition from one area to the next. Where it's okay, we need our characters to get here now. I don't know how we're gonna do that, so
They blow
yeah.
up.
I mean, it was a zombie infection on the plane. You had to. I felt like
And so he
excavating
blew it up.
Yeah, blowing a hole in the plane would very easily get rid of all the zombies.
It would
and also
also
yourself.
kill you.
Not if you were strapped in.
Not if you're Brad Pitt,
Yeah, not if you're Brad Pitt and
Yeah.
random Israeli chick.
who was in the
Yeah.
movie for so long. Why? Who is this chick?
It also doesn't fucking
Was
make
she-
any sense, by the way, when he saves her life, because he's like, okay, I'm cutting off your hand. 12 seconds passed. Okay, you're good now. Despite the last area he was in, he was talking to them. He was like, so how long does it usually take for the zombies to turn? And they're like, it could be anywhere between 1 to 5 minutes from what we've seen. He's like, okay, got it. 12 seconds. I'm going with what I
Well,
saw.
No, it was established very early in the movie that it took 12 seconds.
No, because it was established shortly after that, Dylan, that it could vary.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but that was in the beginning stages. He knew from the beginning of the movie it took 12 seconds.
Yeah, I thought that was showing that those people weren't smart. They weren't
Yeah,
good.
or it was the early stages of the zombie virus or whatever.
No, I think the implication is it depends on where you were bitten.
Yeah.
The
I
guy who
guess
turned
so.
in 12 seconds was bit on the fucking neck.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know because there were also people who just got bit in the leg who also turned rather quickly.
Where?
Well, those guys took 16
random-
seconds.
Random bystanders during were they in New York? Where were they in the first city? Where did
Philadelphia.
Yeah, there. In those parts.
I don't know if you can reliably tell how long any of those took, but
Yeah.
Well, it didn't
He
take
counted.
5 to 10 minutes. They changed
Well, listen, they write it into the movie. Those soldiers specifically said, it takes 5 to 10 minutes. The people who created the movie chose to have them say that.
Okay, but regardless of them saying that, Brad Pitt's character established from the very beginning of the movie, it takes 12 seconds.
Why does it matter how
But
he
he knows
established
it can take longer.
Okay, well, at that point, I don't know what to tell you.
You don't have to be
That's
apologetic
our
for
point.
this
It's
movie
stupid
being
and
dumb.
doesn't make sense. It's a plot
Yeah.
hole.
Okay, so one thing that maybe could be a defense for is that he was using her as an experiment. Specifically, he wanted to, test that theory maybe for himself, see how long it take, and also maybe just to see if he could actually stop the infection if he cut off a limb. Because I don't, from our perspective, he hasn't seen that done yet.
Yeah.
So maybe he was using her as a fucking, lab rat, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
And
that
aside
part
from
makes
that-
sense.
Guys, this shit is such a dumb fucking argument. Let's stop
It is
talking about it.
stupid.
Anyways, why does the movie turn so goddamn slow all of a sudden? Why does the pace just go to a goddamn halt the second they get to the WHO?
They ran out of ideas.
I'm assuming it was budget that they ran out of personally.
Oh.
I just think that, they're in a facility where they need to, they have important stuff they need to do, and they need to, they've been tearing through this movie like hell for the first, 3/4 of it.
So it's time to slow it way down.
I didn't mind it at all, to be honest. I thought it was fine.
I was very bored.
That's unfortunate.
I guess this is a question for Nico and Jackson, since Dylan liked that part. Would you guys have preferred, like, the original script, where instead of going to the WHO, he crash lands in Russia and is trapped in Russia for months on end fighting the zombie hordes?
Yeah, probably. I think it would have been more in theme with the rest of the movie.
It's impossible to say whether or not that actually would have been better in practice, but...
Right, yeah.
Well,
I think the thing is, you go into World War Z, and that's what you want. You want these big, set-piece, like, military things where it is, like, a war against zombies with soldiers and shit. And we don't see a ton of that in the movie. It's mostly in Jerusalem. We have the military guys in South Korea, but that's not like war, That's like stuff we've seen in zombie movies before.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, at least to me, by the end of this movie, it just feels like a setup for, like, something else. Because obviously the movie doesn't just end. Like, the whole world zombie thing doesn't just end by the end of this movie. They're like, oh yeah, we finally found a way to combat them, and now people are more safe, and now people are finding ways to fight back. So that felt like a setup. Obviously they didn't make another movie, but it felt like a setup for another movie. So I don't know.
So
what's the point you were just trying to make?
That after the movie ended, there was World War Z because they were fighting zombies?
Yeah, but we want to see World War Z in the movie we were watching.
I mean,
the one called World War Z.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighting zombies. There was a lot of fighting zombies.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
I thought I think a big plus, the big thing working in this movie's favor is that they do interesting, like, visual stuff with the zombies. Them, climbing on each other, that's something we haven't seen in zombie movies before. That stuff is cool. I like the running zombies and how they're fucking flinging themselves off rooftops and doing all this goofy shit.
Yeah.
That was fun to see.
I know it's something that people made fun of when the movie initially came out, but I think it's fun. I think it's a different take on them we haven't really seen before, so I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, that's something I think I asked people when this movie first came out. Do you think that's how zombies would actually operate? Or do you think it'd be like the World War II Call of Duty zombies that everybody thinks would be zombies?
I mean, it's impossible to say.
Yeah, zombies don't exist, so there's no way for us to say.
Okay, well, which would you prefer, though?
I guess
I prefer slow-moving ones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want the fast ones. I want it to be fun and exciting.
I prefer them to be like real corpses.
I do like this movie's take on zombies. I think that the lack of self-preservation, which also is kind of goes against what they came up with, why the zombies are the way that they are in the end of the movie, but the lack of self-preservation that these zombies have, like, clearly this virus's only goal is to infect, and, all that, which also still doesn't make a ton of sense, which means they're not even trying to consume people, they're just literally trying to infect people for no reason.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a virus's only, like, function.
Well,
so
that's rabies. That's why they were like, this is like a form of rabies.
Yeah.
Because that's like one of the features of rabies is that they attack what the fuck
And,
ever.
like, by the way, so, like, if they're, like, just trying to find, like, a fucking healthy host or whatever, like, one that doesn't have, like, an illness or whatever the fuck, surely people notice, like, way before this, like, oh, hang on. There are, like, a lot of people who aren't getting attacked because they have fucking HIV or whatever.
Especially in fucking Jerusalem, you only see a single dude. Or was it maybe two? Did you see the old guy
You saw
there?
like an old man and a bald kid.
Yeah, he saw two examples of this. It's fucking Jerusalem. He should have been seeing them like every other fucking person.
And a sick person, yeah.
To be fair, they were taking in a lot of immigrants, so the large amount of the
How does
population.
that change anything?
That should, if anything, that should make it more obvious.
I don't know. I feel like the only defense I have for that in this movie is they obviously show there's a lot of chaos that breaks out because everybody's running around, everybody's screaming, there's explosions, there's gunfire, zombies are tackling people at 50 miles an hour or however fast they're going.
Probably not 50 miles per hour.
I'm exaggerating, Tanner. But that is actually something I was going to say. I like how this movie subverted people's expectations on zombies. Like, nobody ever thinks of, like, oh, zombies would have the ability to run. We just don't like to think that because they're dead bodies or whatever. I like how the movie was like, no, these things are...
I mean, I guess it is subverting expectations in the sense that, yes, we're typically used to zombies that don't run. But zombies that run have been in plenty of stuff before this movie.
No, yeah, for sure. But, like, these zombies are, like, full-on, like, just jumping, tackling people, like, grabbing helicopters.
They're much more mobile, sure.
Yeah, they're much more goal-oriented, as one would say.
Okay, so, like, 1.2 million people in the United States have HIV, okay? So, like, surely...
Yeah, 1.2 out of 433 million, or probably more at this point.
It's not 433. Knock that down by 100 million.
I thought it was it doesn't matter. Regardless, that's a very small percentage of the population.
Right.
That's a pretty...
Also, the disease thing doesn't make any fucking sense. Why wouldn't they infect... They're dead. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, they're not dead, technically.
Are they not? I'm pretty sure they're dead. I'm pretty sure they pretty expressly say they're dead.
I don't think they ever, like, expressly said they were dead. They said they were undead or whatever, but, like, at what point...
Yes, that's the same fucking difference.
So
they say that you have to shoot them in the head. So...
I don't know. It's a weird in-between thing, because, like...
I don't think it is.
For them to die and then... I don't know, man. It's a very traditional zombie way of things where you get bitten and you change immediately. There's like death that happens somewhere in between in the quick transition, but I don't know.
So with that said, Dylan, what are you ranking this movie?
I don't want to go first. Let me go last.
No, you go first.
Go first,
please.
Dylan.
Please let me go last.
You have to go
it
first,
sounds like you were
Dylan.
really high on this movie, Dylan. You're defending it a whole lot.
I am. I want to go last.
I'm sorry, Dylan, but you've protested now, so you have to go first.
God
Them's the breaks.
damn it. I really liked this movie. I gave it an A.
Insane. Jackson, how about you, dude?
I give it a B-.
B-, crazy. I think I'll give it a C+.
I'll give it a B.
Oh, okay.
We're all generally in the same ballpark. I think
There we go.
even an A for a movie he liked a lot is pretty reasonable.
Why did
Yeah, I think that's
that
fair
dude
enough.
fucking... He got the prescription, the inhaler bullshit. And that dude fucking blasted some guy. And then he just, like, handed our main boy the medicine. It was like, hey, by the way, this other stuff works on my daughter. Go on, King. Why'd that happen?
He saw his daughter, man. I don't know.
What was that meant to convey to us?
I was meant to convey that this movie got a B. A B. It's a B-tier movie.
There we go.
Chichi, what do you think of this movie? What rating would
Dude,
you
I
give it?
thought it was bad.